Hey guys, what is up? Megan here, and welcome back for another full moon / lunar eclipse ritual guide. Today we're going to talk all about the upcoming lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, you know the drill. It really helps me out when you do, so I appreciate every like, subscribe, comment, and let's dive right in. This upcoming lunar eclipse is going to be occurring in the sign of Scorpio and is another one of the eclipses that is falling in the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle, which will be through 2023. Every 6 months or so, we will have an eclipse, both solar and lunar, in the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. Eclipse seasons are a special time because they're basically like supercharged full and new moons. It tends to be a really transformational time and a time for emotional change, especially during the lunar eclipse. And Scorpio already is a very transformative sign, as it is ruled by Pluto, that is the planet of death and rebirth and mystery. Scorpio's glyph is a scorpion, and if you are not careful, they will sting you. And while Scorpio may seem very fiery and charged like a fire sign, it's actually a water sign. A lot of people get that confused, just like Aquarius is actually an air sign, but no, Scorpio is a water sign, and it gets a lot of its power from that emotional, intuitive aspect, as water signs do. This lunar eclipse is going to be occurring on Monday, May 16th at 12:14 a.m. Eastern time, but you can do your rituals a few days before or a few days after. It's still going to be very energetically charged. And as full moons are already releases, this special eclipse is going to be a great time to shift any patterns or habits or do any shadow deep work that you want to do. Scorpio is a fixed sign, which means it is occurring in the middle of its season. So fixed signs tend to like more stability. They tend to be more consistent with action, whereas cardinal signs like Aries tend to be the signs to get things started. The Scorpio and fixed signs are the signs that are there to consistently keep things going. They like stability, and they tend to be a little bit more fixed and stubborn in their ways. Scorpio rules the 8th house of death, sex, taxes, intimate partnerships, and those kind of shared and joint relationships and energy. This month, I recommend looking to see what's in your 8th house and seeing if you're resonating with the higher or lower vibration of that sign. I have Leo in my 8th house, and I definitely tend to be a little bit of a diva when it comes to those categories, so maybe I can loosen up a little bit and let some other people take control. Probably not, but it's something to think about and work on this eclipse season. The work you do during eclipse season isn't just going to be one magical boom, your changed emotional shift. These things are going to be patterns and habits that you can work on shifting throughout this entire eclipse cycle that ends in 2023. Scorpio itself is already a very transformative, inward, kind of dark sign. And as full moons are a great time to do any shadow work, this full moon is an especially powerful time to really work on yourself. So what's shadow work? Your shadow is a term coined by the psychiatrist Carl Jung, and basically is repressed emotions, are your shadow sides, aspects of your personality that you repress. Maybe certain things trigger you, like for example, when you were a kid, if say a caregiver or an adult really freaks out at you for crying, in your adult life, you might find yourself really repressing your emotions or not wanting to share it with anyone for fear of being rejected. That's your shadow. Also, with your shadows, you want to look to see what things trigger you. So this lunar eclipse, really try and figure out what your shadows are, and you don't have to work on them. Just by knowing them, you're going to put yourself a step ahead and a step in the right direction. So as this lunar eclipse is in the sign of Scorpio and the sun season is the sign of Taurus, look to those signs and see specifically if you are aligning with the low energy of those signs. So as both Taurus and Scorpio are fixed modalities, so they tend to really like stability, their low sides or shadow sides come from a place of insecurity. For example, the low sides of Scorpio can be repressing your emotions, maybe holding a grudge too long, not letting people in. You might have a bit of a victim mentality, and that comes from placing control outside of yourself. What we want to do this full moon is focus on reining that control in and knowing it comes from within and that we are responsible for our lives. On the other side of the coin, the low sides of Taurus tend to be coming from a place of material instability. stability. So you might be coveting material possession. You might be looking for comfort in your bank account instead of looking for comfort from within. And so this eclipse, work on living in the moment, which is really what most shadows I think stem for, not living in the moment, right? Either you're living in the past, being depressed, or you're living in the future being anxious. So what we want to do is ground ourselves in the present moment this eclipse. Some crystals that you can incorporate into your ritual this month are smoky quartz, hematite, black tourmaline, and obsidian. And for glamour magic, some colors you can incorporate are reds, maroons, blacks. I see a bit of like a smoky gray. In my opinion, Scorpio has like hot goth girl energy. So this eclipse, try out doing a red lip, black eye, put on a leather jacket, put on something that makes you feel edgy and sexy and mysterious. Every full moon, I like to recommend a movie that embodies the energy of that moon, and this month I recommend watching the movie Jennifer's Body. Jennifer's Body stars Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried and is about how Jennifer is forced to participate in an occult ritual and becomes possessed by a demon. In this movie, Megan Fox is the epitome of Scorpio, Lilith, that dark feminine energy, which I think Scorpio is all about. Some rituals you can do for this eclipse are to check out a sauna or some hot yoga. As Scorpio is a water sign, I'm taking it a little bit literal here. You want to release water from your body, so if your gym has a sauna or if there's an infrared sauna you can rent near you, or even better, you can go to hot yoga. This is the perfect time to do that release and literally release that water, release that sweat, stagnant energy from your body. As full moons / eclipses are a great time for release, I also recommend minimizing or cleaning up one area of your life that feels stagnant or that you're trying to work on. So for example, if you're really trying to focus on your diet and healthy eating, clean out your fridge and pantry. Another ritual idea is to buy yourself or just put on something that makes you feel sexy. Scorpio is the sign most associated with sex and intimacy. Either buy or put on something that makes you feel a little bit on the sensual side. I personally have a Venus in Scorpio, which is a lot. Let me know in the comments below if you also have your Venus in Scorpio. Anyway, I digress. Scorpio is a very sexy sign, so treat yourself this month. Scorpio rules the hips and thigh area, so some yoga poses you can do this month are pigeon pose, happy baby, Malasana or yogi squat, and thread the needle. For meditation this month, do what's called Kapalabhati breathing. I hope I said that right, but basically you take a big inhale and do a bunch of small exhales through your nose, focusing on the exhale and like tense your upper abs. So I'll do one right now. The pets love this one. I'll link in the comments below a more detailed guide to Kapalabhati breathing. Some journaling questions for this eclipse are: what situation has triggered an emotional response from you this past week? What is something from your childhood that made you feel like you couldn't act a certain way? Who are your mirrors and what can you learn from them? What are some of your common projections onto others? What deeper emotion may be hiding behind your triggers? And some tarot questions are: what energy will help me accept my shadows? What shadows am I ignoring? What am I repeating that no longer serves me? I feel like the 3-card spread is simple enough for anyone to understand, and the cards do tend to tell a story and fit together in some way. So if you're wondering why there's always 3 tarot questions, that's it. Thank you to Tracy for letting me know that you're a Scorpio sun and rising. Ooh, that is intense. I'm sure you're a very interesting person to be around. People might find you very intimidating. You might have the tendency to hide yourself and your emotions and not want to share them with others. This eclipse, I invite you to open up a little bit and release that fear of judgment that you might have. I hope you found this ritual guide for this upcoming eclipse in Scorpio helpful. This is a very, very transformative and emotional one, so don't be afraid to let yourself cry, be angry, scream if you need it. Maybe try not to scream at someone, but if you need to, you know, maybe they deserve it. That's very Scorpio. Scorpio is very letting people have it when they need it. you know? If you're interested in being featured in my next video, let me know what you have going on in Gemini. Do you have any planets? Is your sun sign in Gemini? What house is it in? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below. If you want to learn more about shadow work or about the eclipse season in general, I have a shadow work video with some journal prompts, or check out my Taurus eclipse guide, which was actually my first moon ritual guide. Fun fact, I will link them here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.